Hello?
Tug along with the Sunday crew. Geeking out is what we do. Giggle on, it's gonna be great. Don't be late, let's celebrate. Science fiction on a screen so bright. Old classics and the new delights. The unapologetic geek will lead the way, with facts and fun to fill your day. Discussing every detail, every frame, from the eerie to the loud and the same. Gig along with all that's great. Those Sunday vibes you can't debate. Tug along with the Sunday crew. Geeking out is what we do. Giggle on, it's gonna be great. Don't be late, let's celebrate.
Hello and happy 2025. Happy New Year to everyone. As you know, I had some technical difficulties a couple weeks ago with my internet. Hopefully, it'll stay on, even though winter is destroying the outside world right now. I'm in St. Louis, which if you look on the map where this massive winter storm is, we're right in the middle of it. So, fun. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start bringing in my panel. We will start with Thrash Pondo Pons.
Happy 2025, anyone. In the year 2025. How goes?
Okay, and next we will bring in good old Damien.
Hello, and welcome to the future.
It is the future.
Yes.
Look at my background. I have the future.
But
Exactly.
will soon be the past.
Yes.
It already is. Too late. And last but not least, we've got Chance from the Nostalgic Pod Blast.
Hey, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy to be here.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Let's see. Today we're going to talk about good, bad movies. And not the YouTube channel Good Bad Movies, which is a great YouTube channel, but yeah. We're just going to talk about movies that are terrible that we happen to love. Sometimes for them being terrible, sometimes because we genuinely love them. It doesn't necessarily have to be a movie that was made to be good and is like unintentionally bad. It can be an intentionally bad movie. That's fine. I don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
But most of these are probably unintentionally terrible. I think pretty much every single one on my list is. So we'll see. So how's the new year going for everybody? How you guys doing?
Man.
Yeah, doing all right.
It hasn't been as catastrophic as I thought it was going to be yet.
Give it time. Give it time.
There's an optimist again.
You haven't frozen yet, so there's that.
Yeah.
And yes, Vim Vander Straten, the Asylum movies can be included. I don't think I have one on my list, but I might. Let's see. We got Tracy is here. Hello, Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
Starting as a pick. Hey, Tracy.
Sean Ennis is here.
Sean, what's going on, bro?
We got multiple versions of Dan here from South Carolina. I just got back from South Carolina.
Who we will see later on tonight, by the way.
Oh, yes, that's right. You and him and Sarah have a stream tonight.
Shameless self-promotion.
Hello, Gary. And of course, channel member Indy is here,
Hey.
as is my mother. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Tug's mom.
What's up, Mom?
Apparently, according to Danny Chance, you're not streaming on your channel. Something went wrong. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, no. It is on Facebook. Oh, well.
It is
You're
what
right.
it is.
It just says waiting. You're right. That's weird.
It's just like what we had on BBB stream last night. Just a weird glitch, I guess.
Danny, am I streaming?
Yeah, Danny, check out Thrash. See if he's streaming. Snarky is here, of course. Just Carowin is here. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to start with a movie that I really want to review on my channel, but I know it will not get monetized if I do, and that is Frankenhooker. This is the Joe Bob Briggs movie of the 1990s. I absolutely love this movie, and it is beyond terrible. It's basically Frankenstein, but instead of putting together, a guy is getting married, and I think it's his fiance, might be his new bride, one or the other, gets killed in a horrible lawnmower accident. And so he decides he's going to put her back together. But what he's going to do is he's going to put her head on the body of a hooker. He winds up like collecting this stuff called super crack, which I think he invented, which literally makes people explode. So he's like handing it out to hookers and pimps, and eventually he manages to get a hooker, kill her, take her body, put his girlfriend's head on it, and she goes around, and she's more hooker than wife, right? So she's just wandering going, "Hey, want a date? Want a date?" And it's so great. I don't even know how to describe this movie. It is absurd. It is gross. It is puerile. It's got lots of nudity. Obviously, it's a terrible movie. Like I said, I absolutely love it, and I wish I could talk about it on my channel. But I'd have to edit a lot to get around that aforementioned nudity, and B, it would get age restricted within milliseconds.
Hey, you got 60% on Rotten Tomatoes. It can't be that bad.
Great movie. Okay, it's a bad movie because it is a bad movie. It's made worst possible taste, but it's a great movie as well.
It sounds like it was inspired by The Brain That Wouldn't Die.
It's very similar to The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Yes.
I keep getting this Brain That Wouldn't Die vibe. If he had gone through with the plan.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't know what The Brain That Wouldn't Die, whatever the title is,
Brain That Wouldn't Die.
I do have a watch on this channel where me and a couple of us watch it, like the public domain theater thing before that got defunct. I'm pretty sure that one's still up, so you can watch that. Hold on, let me see if anybody else has come in. Kenneth Wilkinson is here. Hello, good afternoon. Apparently, according to Vim Vanderstraeten, Bill Murray liked Frankenhooker.
Well, I'll watch it anyway.
Oh, throwing shade already. Not even 10 minutes in, Thrash. So I take it I'm the only one who's seen Frankenhooker.
Yeah, I have not.
Yes.
I think I've seen a little tiny piece of it at some point.
Full
but
disclosure.
It is so great. And like I said, it's the Joe Bob Briggs movie of the 90s. And, Joe Bob Briggs, drive-in theater, all that stuff. You know who that is.
Man's a national treasure. He really is. Just no one's discovered him yet.
Warren is also here. He just can't comment. People have already listed a lot of movies that are on my list. That's why I'm not highlighting every single comment, because there's some I just want to save. So let's just go ahead and move right along. Thrash, you're next.
Well, I decided to go with some movies that have a little more controversy to them, because there's so many wonderful, obvious choices. I decided to go with things maybe a little that we've all seen, but you wouldn't have thought of until, oh yeah, that's right. And I'm going to open with the 1984 version of Dune, the David Lynch Dune.
Okay, controversial choice.
And let me tell you why. As you know, I have a rule about films adapted from source material. The further you get from the source material, the more I'm going to get pissed. And this might as well have been called Desert Planet movie. I mean, it has
Desert Planet Worm movie.
Exactly. There were giant sandworms. There was an evil emperor. There was something called spice, but other than that, I'm sorry. I keep hitting Godzilla. Sorry, Godzilla. It's just this thing. It was a mess. Now, I'm sure most of you are already familiar with the backstory to the making of this movie. It was actually more interesting than the actual movie. Jodorowsky was supposed to make it, and it was a debacle. They yada yada, blah blah blah. Things happened. It got shelved a couple of times. They brought in David Lynch, who's actually an amazing filmmaker. I mean, the guy's just, the more off the wall, the better. And he just basically came in and said, I'll just make it, but I'll make my own vision. Like the Wielding Way, which is supposed to be this sort of new age martial arts, he turned it into a scion gun. While we're on the subject, the whole point of Dune is they've gone back to the age of chivalry and hand-to-hand combat because the body armor they wear renders fire like pellet weapons useless. But what happens? No, the Shadakar warriors. I know I mispronounced it. Sorry, I never get that right. They have regular guns, which are very, very, very cool, but are completely out of the movie Dune. Also, speaking of the Harkonnens, Baron is supposed to be this very Machiavellian sort of ice war in the veins, manipulative character, and he's played by Ken McMillan as this sort of screaming Mimi-like character from a comic book. The Duke will die by these eyes, and it's just a complete. But I love it. I love the movie. I thought it's so much fun. The over-the-top performances I thought made the whole thing watchable. There's one scene where Jack Nance is playing this sort of like futuristic organ grinder, and the Baron's are sort of like floating around the room, laughing maniacally to himself, and Raban comes out and rips the tongue out of a cow that's being prepared and starts eating it. And this could be done. I'm like, this works on so many levels, and I don't know how it works. Any other director, that would have been so stupid, but I'm like watching it, like riveted, like, wow. It's the movie's just like one nightmarish vision after another. So again, even though it broke the cardinal rule, it's just, and again, it wasn't well received when it came out by sci-fi buffs as well as non-sci-fi buffs. But I love this movie so much.
I also completely agree with just about everything you just said.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
It is a terrible adaptation of the book. Partially because David Lynch didn't even like the book. This is a case of like giving a source material to a director who didn't like it. But instead of like what Verhoeven did to Starship Troopers, this actually works.
Good analogy, by the way. Good analogy.
Because I don't know what it is, but like Lynch's visual style and his disturbingly weird just sensibilities work so well for the story that he's telling here. He does the book all kinds of injustice, and the ending is like anathema to everything Frank Herbert was trying to say. But you've got Sting in a winged thong. You've got Patrick Stewart holding a pug while leading his battles into war with laser rifles. I mean, what is not to love about this movie?
Any movie with Patrick Stewart and Sting. I mean, come on.
Exactly. So yeah, when people complain about the movie, I get it. You're allowed to not like this movie, and if you don't like this movie because of what it did to the book, fine. I can go with you there, but I still love it. I don't know why. I just do.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Supposedly-
definitely a horrible adaptation of the book, but at the same time, it's so unique, and you know the style of everything in it. Even it's like it's so 80s, you know, like just everything about it. But it's also just it's cool. It's just cool. I do like what they did with the Guild Navigators and the big tank.
Oh, the giant
yeah.
brain
that was pretty
testicle
cool.
monster thing. Yeah.
With the vagina for a mouth, you know.
Yeah, it definitely belongs more in Eraserhead than Dune, but you know.
Yeah.
It's David Lynch.
Yeah.
And the humidifiers, they pump in so much moisture, you have to like, you know, vacuum the water up as you go. You know, you haven't found a way to like fix that. No, it's so intense. You have to do it this way.
It's just a little leaky, don't you know? The seals are a little leaky. Don't worry about that. Yeah.
But like in all seriousness, the set design, the costume design, I mean, they put the bad guys in literal body bags. Like they're walking around in body bags. That's great. And like the set design, like I dare you after watching Dune 1984 to read the book and not at least get some of that visual style stuck in your head. It's still there.
Yeah. Yeah. The set design was amazing in Dune 84 or 1984. Yeah. It was really good.
Oh, and one of you guys, I'm sure, will know. There's an anecdotal behind the scenes that Patrick Stewart was pursued to play the part, but the casting director got the name wrong. He actually wanted someone else. And I've heard differing views as to who that actual other actor was. Patrick Stewart won't say. But do any of you guys know who that was supposed to be?
I honestly don't know. Like I've heard a couple different answers to that question. So
yeah, I've heard it was Brian Blessed, and it was from the portrayal.
Oh man,
yeah.
As much as I love Patrick Stewart, and as much as Patrick Stewart makes that movie, Brian Blessed. I mean, come on.
Hawkman from Flash Gordon.
Exactly.
Hawkman. Yeah.
Well, they were doing everything over the top. Oh, go ahead, Ken. I'm sorry.
Phantom Menace. We don't care about that. The voice work, the animated character. Yeah.
Boss Nass. Wow. Star Wars.
Awesome. And Space 1999, Maya's father, mentor. Anyway.
Also,
very
Black
good.
Matter.
Yes, he was very good. And of course, the first installment of Blackadder.
Blackadder, yeah.
That's, I think, where I really...
Today is the summer of our great content. Yeah.
Is it blessed or blessed? When I was a kid, I thought
blessed.
It was...
He pronounces it blessed. Yeah. I love the Hawkman thing because when he was growing up as a kid, he used to play with his friends, Flash Gordon, and he would always be Hawkman. And he loved Flash Gordon. And he always wanted to be Hawkman. So the fact that he actually got to do it, that's a great Hollywood story. I love it.
But fellas, does he say dive or die in Flash Gordon? Does he go die? Is he saying die or dive?
Dive.
That's what I thought.
Dive.
Pretty sure he's saying dive, but it does sound like die.
Yeah.
And I like he conks one of the Imperial Guards on the head, and then it's gonna, nope, just stand here, didn't do anything.
Yeah, nonchalantly just thumps the dude. Yeah.
Anubis, what are you doing, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, Anubis and the entertainment headquarters are here as well.
Kevin. We're going to be reviewing the Giant Behemoth later on this month, by the way, to all you folks out there who are fans of the Giant Behemoth, sort of like English ripoff of Godzilla. So don't tell him.
Danny Staten talked about Patrick McNay. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
that is a name that I've heard bandied about as a possibility. Yeah.
The voice of Battlestar Galactica, the original, the narrator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that chance. Wow.
Yeah. And he played a character, Count Iblis, in a 2-hour episode.
But most well known for the Avengers, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
The British Avengers, by the way.
not Marvel's Avengers.
Right. And yes, Blessed is still alive. He's still doing interviews, and he has not lost an ounce of energy. He's great. Okay, so yes, I guess it's your turn.
Well, I don't know where to begin because look here.
We all have a lot of that.
Of bad movies.
I defer.
Nice.
I yield.
To keep it brief, I'll cover a whole lot of ground here and just say all of the Beatles movies.
Oh, good choice. Good choice.
Magical Mystery Tour, Hard Day's Night, directed by Richard Lester, who directed The Three Musketeers and Superman 2.
Superman. Yep.
I just thought they were horrible. Even because what made me think of it, Thrash, was when you mentioned Meanies, because the Blue Meanies and Yellow Submarine. Mm-hmm. Yellow Submarine's probably the better of the Beatles movies, but I couldn't stand those. And then also the Godzilla movies, aside from the original, the classic with Raymond Burr. I think those are kind of guilty pleasure movies. But since you mentioned 1984's Dune, I'm going to mention 1984's Supergirl as a guilty pleasure.
Ellen Slater. Yeah.
Ellen Slater. The reason is, here's the VHS. It's sun faded, this copy from a video store I got, but it was so horribly edited in the USA. There's a director's cut, which is on this DVD set, which you can get relatively inexpensively. This was released back in the year 2000, little Conan O'Brien reference. Limited edition of 50,000 copies, but there's an international and a director's cut, and it makes it a much better film. There's a nice little booklet inside, colorful. But I thought Helen Slater did a great job as the dual role of Linda Lee and Kara. So that's one of my picks. Another one I know none of you have heard of. I don't even have it on anything but bootleg VHS is Tilt, starring Brooke Shields. It's a movie about pinball. I'm a pinball fan.
Seen
I
it.
own a pinball
Seen
machine.
it.
You've seen it?
Seen it.
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
I've
There's
never
a-
heard of it.
Charles Durning is in it, and he has a line that always stuck with me: "Pay as you go, and you never owe." He was all about paying cash and not getting strapped down with bills. Let me just show some of these. I guess Clint Eastwood's Bronco Billy. A lot of people trash it. I love it. You ever seen Bronco Billy?
Yeah,
have not,
actually, I
no.
have, but it's been a long time.
Directed by Clint Eastwood. Sandra Locke is in it. Jeffrey Lewis. Voyage to the
Love
Bottom of
Jeffrey
the Sea. Irwin Allen, the original.
I've
Which
covered
is
that on my channel.
Yeah, kind of. I love it. I love the Van Allen belt aspect. The Earth is threatened with this radiation belt, and it's technically a bad movie, but it has so many good moments. Even the fake octopus, love it.
And Peter Lorre's last film.
Yeah.
That was
That's right.
Peter Lorre's last film.
And I got to mention Xanadu because I think the music
I had a
was great.
feeling somebody was going to
Hello?
bring that up.
No, that's so bad it's bad. It goes all the way back around to bad again. Oh,
Only thing I like the Don Bluth animated sequence, the music, the soundtrack, and the way Olivia looked. She never looked better. And then, unfortunately, she lopped off her hair and did that physical music video and that whole look. I hated that. I'm like, no, you're so gorgeous. Don't do that. So that's one. And then I'll shut up now and
Yeah, you'll get
but-
another chance. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cable Guy's another one. It got panned by the critics. I love it. I love the references in it, the acting in it. I think it's a really good dark comedy that got trashed by the critics back in '96 when it was released.
and for some reason I'm frozen, so I'm gonna duck out and come back. See you
Oh,
guys in a
there
minute.
we had 21 minutes.
Dang it, we forgot to take bets again.
Dang it.
I was gonna mention it earlier too. I was like, we're taking bets? When's he gonna freeze?
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so
Tracy's with you on Xanadu, by the way.
I have not seen Xanadu.
I don't
You're not missing
recommend it.
Don't recommend it.
The lead actor was the guy from The Warriors. Remember that movie, The Warriors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was no
Warriors.
Travolta, Olivia Newton-John chemistry, that's for sure.
Yeah. Gotcha. So I guess I'll go. I'm gonna go with Battlefield Earth.
There we go. Dutch Angles, the movie.
It's got the Wish version of Klingons in it. But yeah, it's not a good movie at all. But I still like it. It's because you like it's just you can see what they were trying to do. And it's kind of an interesting attempt, and it actually kind of throws back to like the Tripod trilogy or the Tripod books from the 60s or like 50s or 60s, I can't remember, that I really liked when I was a kid. Just the whole idea of like an invasion of Earth where they're take over and throw everybody back to like the medieval times kind of thing. But just the whole idea behind it of like they all live in like this corporate dystopian kind of society. these aliens from I can't remember what they were called. Crap, what
I'm
were they
just gonna
called?
see how long it takes Thrash to figure out what we're talking about.
I'm listening
Scientology?
intently.
The Cyclos.
Don't tell me, don't tell me.
Cyclos. They were
That's
called
it.
Cyclos. Yeah, that's right.
Battlefield Earth.
Yeah.
Yes,
There you go.
yes,
Well, when you said Cyclos, that
Yeah.
kind of narrowed the options. But,
yeah.
but I still got it. I'm going to give myself the win on that one thing.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I've always just it's definitely a bad movie, but it's also kind of fun at the same time. It's just a couple of interesting concepts explored in there, but they could have done a much better job. And I mean, honestly, Travolta was kind of phoning it in the whole time.
And so is Forrest Whitaker, and he's like a
Yeah,
fantastic actor, but he's terrible in that movie.
Yeah, oh, he is. Yeah, not good in that movie at all. So,
And it was Scientology, wasn't it? Like
Yeah,
propaganda.
it's L. Ron
Yeah.
Hubbard wrote it. Yeah.
yeah,
And if you're going to do an L. Ron Hubbard movie, why don't you do the Final Blackout?
yeah.
His post-apocalyptic. It's absolutely an amazing book, and it would make such an amazing movie. And there've been at least 3 attempts to do it. And there's always been some problem with the rights. They were actually in pre-production. I want to say back in '89.
That sounds
But-
right. Yeah.
I don't know why they won't make that Earth-gone movie because
Hey,
it's.
Sarah made it.
Oh, Sister Sarah, how you doing?
You would think that
Scientology has like the Church of Scientology has done its best to gobble up all the rights to everything L. Ron Hubbard ever wrote. And I think that's the core of the problem. They were
You
also
think
trying to make a movie out of one of his short stories. I think it was called Fear or something. I don't even remember.
But you would think that like Cruise would push for it so he could star in it or something, you know? I mean,
Oh, if Cruz played the lieutenant in Final Blackout, that would be the Final Blackout.
You just hurt Thrash's soul.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm gonna have nightmares. You know,
But, I mean-
I wanted Valkyrie made so badly, and I know the only reason they were able to make it is because Tom Cruise pushed for it so he could play Stauffenberg.
Mhm.
And oh my God, he could have been replaced with a cardboard cutout. Everyone else was at their best. He was Tom Cruise.
I'm with you, Thrash. I think that Valkyrie is a great movie, except for Tom Cruise, who is the main character. Anyway, but Battlefield Earth, like, I watch it from like a film student perspective, and it's like a student film made on a big budget. Like
Mhm.
it does everything wrong. It's like excessive. Like I said, it's Dutch angles the movie. Like the camera's always at a tilt the entire movie. And the editing is terrible. The music cues are off. The dialogue's poorly synced. I mean, just everything about it from a filmmaking perspective is just garbage.
And the plot holes are everywhere.
Hold back.
Anyway, that's all I got on Battlefield Earth.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything else to say about Battlefield Earth?
No, I think.
God dang it, you're frozen again.
At least it froze on a smile, sort of.
Yeah, you look good in this one.
I'm actually gonna, because I actually have a good smile. I'm going to leave it like this until I do my next movie, and then I'm going to pop out and pop back in again.
Okay.
I'm only allowed 3 pop outs per shift. I think. I think that's the unwritten rule.
Okay, so I guess that mean it's my turn again.
But good choice, D-Man. Good choice.
Oh, thanks.
Excellent choice. It was on my list.
Okay.
I am actually going to talk about a Hellraiser sequel. I'm specifically going to talk about Hellraiser Hellworld. This was a movie that started life as a if you've ever seen the movie Arcade, it's kind of like that, where like the evils of the internet and online gaming ruining our youth. Basically, a bunch of kids are into this like online game that's about like murder and death and, you know, serial killers and stuff. And they wind up getting invited to this party of fanboys of this game. And they get there, and Lance Henriksen is the host of the party. And it turns out he's secretly Pinhead in disguise because they shoehorned Hellraiser into the script like they did with all the Hellraiser sequels. It stars a young Henry Cavill, among others. It's real bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a real bad movie, but there's just something fun about it. Lance Henriksen knows he's in a bad movie, and if anybody can overact and have a blast in a bad movie, it's Lance Henriksen. He's got so many of those under his belt. This is one of my favorites of his because he's just having so much fun. And the kills and the deaths in this movie are so ridiculous. Like, it's not just, they're not trying to be inventive, they're just being ludicrous. Like
it literally has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It has a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
I've never seen a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
That's right up there with
bad.
X versus Sever, you know, yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, like, you can't watch it sober. If you try to watch it sober, you're going to turn it off after 5 minutes. You can't handle it. But I had to put it up there because I have watched all of the Hellraiser sequels. I did it for my website, and I regret doing it because most of those movies are real bad and not in a fun way. Whereas this one, I actually got past that point and was just delirious with how stupid the movie was, you know.
I love it when movies do that.
And I'm like, what is Henry Cavill doing in this movie? Why not? Whatever.
You're like laying on the couch, you're too lazy to change the channel and search for something else or whatever. And then, you know, it's just like, I guess I'm watching this now. And then after a while, you're like, man, this thing is so horrible. It's funny.
Exactly. So I had to bring that one up just because it's a fond memory of me just being delirious. Like, this is great because it's so bad. And Vim, keep it that way. If you've only seen the first Hellraiser, just keep it that way.
Yeah,
You don't have to see any of the sequels. The first sequel's okay. The rest of them are increasingly bad.
Yeah. I think I've seen Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3, and then I was like, yeah, I'm done with this.
3 has who is it? Terry Farrell, Dax from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
And that one has it has the most ridiculous Cenobites. You got this one Cenobite that has like a camera sticking out of his head, and you got another one with like buzzsaws stuck in his head. It's so stupid.
That's what's great about it.
haven't
Let's
seen
see what
this
else
one.
we could stick in somebody's head here. You know?
Exactly. Anyway, I'm done.
Oh, you are? Oh, yeah. You know, it kind of reminded me of that whole 80s attack on arcades.
Yeah.
There were actually a lot of TV shows and movies that tried to do this like anti-arcade propaganda. My grandfather told me he remembered when he was a kid. I guess Whistler tried to ban pinball machines at one point, so it was nothing new. But remember in the anthology film Nightmares, there's that really particularly poor installment with with Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
I am the Bishop of Battle. Dear God, was that the best you could come up with? And it was almost like it was too short. So they were like, stretch. I mean, half the arguing Emilio Estevez does all seems free form. You're not going to throw me out. Yes, I am. No, you can't do that. Yes, I can. You're not throwing me out. Yes, I am. It's like, dear God, can we just advance the plot somehow? So yeah, there was a lot of shameless anti-arcade propaganda back in the day. And on that note, I'm going to pop out and pop back in, keeping your fingers crossed, guys.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves while I'm...
I will give an honorable mention to Arcade because it is a terrible movie, but I haven't seen it since the early 90s, so I don't remember much about it.
What was that one about?
I mean, it's basically like an evil video game. You like get sucked into the video game, and if you die in the video game, you die in the real world. One of those kind of movies, you know? Like trying to be Nightmare on Elm Street, but instead of nightmares, it's a video game. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no Freddy Krueger.
I'm wondering if I've seen it and completely forgotten about it. So.
Well, likely. I think a lot of people did.
There's so many movies I saw like late at night in my teens that, you know, just...
It was that whole like Jack Thompson era of video games. Jack Thompson was the guy who tried to like get video games banned because of GTA 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
And he wound up getting himself disbarred. So, you know, he didn't win that fight.
I did not see this movie. So.
It's probably got a really low Rotten Tomatoes as well. It's bad. I'm trying to think of other movies that are like that kind of did that, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. I know there were a lot of them. Lawnmower Man. That's a good example.
A little bit, yeah. Similar premise there, you know.
Wim van der Straeten mentions Tron, which is not exactly the same thing, but it's similar enough.
Yeah, similar idea.
Yeah,
I can see that. Like you can get at the dots. You know, yes, I'll give that to him.
Okay,
so, am I up?
Yep, you're up.
I'm gonna talk while the talking's good. I'm going to use one that I actually came up with when we were going to be discussing the best villains of all time, which I sadly missed all installments of. And hey, Lance, how's it going, bro? And I'm going to use Battle Beyond the Stars.
Nice.
Because I love this movie. Now, let's reverse technology it. It's a shameless, and I do mean shameless, ripoff of Seven Samurai. But ripping something off isn't necessarily bad if you do it with heart, and this film has heart. I guess the screenplay was written by John Sayles, who is one of my favorite screenwriters of all time. And it was directed by... Oh, go ahead.
Wasn't Mary Crosby in that?
I think she was the only early 80s hottie who wasn't in it, actually. She was in Ice Pirates.
Ice
Maybe
Pirates,
that's the one you're thinking of.
She's in a science fiction movie. Okay, sorry.
Ice
go
Pirates.
Ahead,
And she was a hottie. I used to like. I remember her from Dallas. I won't. Spoiler alert. If you don't know it by now, you should be ashamed. But it does. It has Sybil Danning. It has. I always get her name wrong. Darlene Flugel, who I had a bizarre crush on for some reason, probably because of her brief but really hot segment in To Live and Die in L.A. She died of early onset dementia, by the way, very sad. But she was amazing. She was actually in one of the few Stephen King Harlan Ellison collaborations. I believe it was for the 80s incarnation of Twilight Zone, Grandma, which is one of the scariest things you can find on network television. To this day, it was just really like, wow. I mean, it was probably the closest thing you'll ever see to H.P. Lovecraft, in my opinion. But I am so digressing, so let me get back on topic. Battle Beyond the Stars, again, shameless ripoff of Seven Samurai, but it's just done so well. And everyone looks like they're having so much fun making this movie, particularly the villain, John Saxon. Rest in peace, John Arico.
Oh, great.
As Sador, who is just absolutely outstanding and has one of the best last lines of all time. I want to live forever. And then, boom! But Saxon, as everything he's ever did, he plays it like to a bust. He's like he was an amazing actor, and he really just gave an energy that you just don't see. I loved him from the Dylan Hunt saga, even though he's only in 2 out of 3 installments. But to this day, I'm disappointed that never became a thing. But yeah, so Battle Beyond the Stars, not great. It was filmed in like a warehouse in like 2 days, but is just one of the most fun movies.
How can you talk about it for that long and not mention the shape of the spaceship?
I was about to say something about that.
I can't take all the fun out of my movie, can I?
It has
Gentlemen?
boobies.
It's a booby spaceship. It's about as explicit as something out of Lex, you know? Tom McCluskey, you thought you could sneak in, but there he is. He met Saxon before he died. And yeah, hi, Lance. I don't know if I said hi yet or not, but hi, Lance. How you going? And Gary Carpenter is here as well. Lots of people today. Okay, so Chance, you get another shot.
All right. I have one that's very controversial. It's a movie that people loathe, but I liked it, Waterworld. And I even like the extended version of Waterworld with Kevin Costner. I just like the scenery that was being chewed up by Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper sells that movie so well.
And there's so many little character quirky bits. Like I like the guy in the dungeon. Thank God when he sees that his death is imminent. He's about to get blown to bits. I just love that.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. And I don't know where I saw the long version. It was on one of the cable channels, but I just thought it was awesome. I really enjoyed that whole world. So that's all I got to say about Waterworld. Superman 4. I know I mentioned Supergirl, but Superman 4, that was one of those terrible canon films of the 1980s, like the ninja movies, those endless ninja movies that they produced.
Yeah.
But I liked seeing the return of Lex Luthor, played by the great Gene Hackman in that movie. And then you had Lenny Luthor in that, played by future 2.5 Men actor. Who's that dude?
I'm trying to remember his name. Dang it.
He played Lenny Luthor.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat help me out. The guy that he was in 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen, but not Charlie Sheen.
John Cryer.
Cryer.
That's it.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're the man. Thank you, John Cryer. So let me scratch those off my list. Jaws 3D. People hate that. It's nowhere near the original, but I loved seeing that.
I absolutely love Jaws 3D. I grew up on Jaws 3D. It's one of my favorites.
The actors Bess Meyerson, and I always loved Lou Gossett Jr. And he just won an Oscar, so he came off An Officer and a Gentleman with an Oscar win to do that trashy movie, according to the critics. But I thought it was so much fun.
His second movie with Dennis Quaid, the other one being Enemy Mine. A legit great movie.
Oh, and I have that on Blu-ray sitting right here on my shelf. Another movie people hate that I like is Popeye, starring the late great Robin Williams.
Okay, that's a terrible movie.
But it's fun.
It was fun though. It's a fun movie. Yeah,
it is.
I will say the casting is perfect. Like Robin Williams as Popeye and Olive Oil being played by Shelley
Duvall.
I can't imagine better casting, honestly.
Not being injured or threatened by a castmate in this movie.
Good point.
Oh, look what Sean Ennis said in chat. They had a budget line for Coke on the set.
Yes, Coca-Cola.
Okay. Not Pepsi. Coke.
Of course.
Wink, wink. Okay. And then there's one you guys may have never seen or heard of, Stepfather 3. It's a cheesy horror movie, but I love that movie. It was the actor who played it was the second John Boy in the Waltons. He replaced the original John Boy actor, Richard Thomas. Yeah, and so this guy was best known for playing the fake John Boy in the Waltons, and also Priscilla Barnes is in it from Three's Company, who played Terry. And she marries the stepfather. And what this guy does is he goes after women who have kids. He wants to start a family on his own, of his own. And it's just got these all sorts of crazy scenes in that. So that's all I got to say about that. And then The Man from U.N.C.L.E., directed by Guy Ritchie, and Henry Cavill was in that, I believe. Yep. I like that movie a lot as well.
And Armie Hammer, who is not a cannibal.
Well, his career's dead. You know, he got
screwed. Yeah.
And then Modern Problems, which was a terrible comedy released on Christmas Day, 1981, starring Chevy Chase. And what I loved, it had all these character bits, like Brian Doyle Murray, Bill Murray's older brother's in it, playing a guy in a wheelchair. He's got some great lines. And you had Dabney Coleman playing what I think was the prototype to Dr. Phil. He played like an author who was like a self-help guy, but he was so full of himself in the movie, and he's going after married women, and he's just such a lech. And cover your ears, gentlemen. There's a funny bit where Chevy Chase snorts a line of demon powder by the great Nell Carter. Her character, Dorita, the maid, she lies down because he's possessed. He gets nuclear waste infects him, and he gets all these powers of telekinesis. And there's a funny bit where Chevy Chase snorts the line of demon powder, and he goes. Yeah! And it's just crazy. Hope I didn't blow your ears out there.
What?
But
What'd you say?
What?
I have trichokinesis now. There's a
No. The turkey is raw.
Piranha 3D is another one that was panned by the critics that I loved. All-star cast, even Doc Brown is in it, for goodness sakes.
Yep.
Christopher Lloyd. Have you guys seen Piranha 3D?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen that one. No, not yet.
No.
Worth a look. It's a lot of fun, a lot of comedy. You won't believe all the actors that's in that. Richard Dreyfuss is in it. A lot of big names. Hollow Man, good horror movie. Kevin Bacon.
Oh, that one, yeah.
And then the last thing I'll say on this round, one I really like because I love Paul Giamatti, a movie called Big Fat Liar. And Paul Giamatti played a guy who stole a script from these kids. And these kids want to get even with him and get their money. They want to get paid for what this guy stole. The movie wound up being a hit. And look, they put blue food coloring in a swimming pool. So he's blue after he goes for a swim. It's a cute little movie. Lee Majors is in it, but Big Fat Liar, that's one of my favorites. So
I'm sure that was Frankie Muniz and Amanda Bynes on the cover.
It is.
Good catch.
It's just a guilty pleasure movie. So that's all I got for this round.
Okay.
one thing I'd like to interject about Waterworld, it suffers the same thing from Valkyrie. The overall movie itself probably would have been a lot better if it wasn't for the fact that the main character could have been replaced with a cardboard cutoff. I've sailed farther than most have dreamed. Really? Is that the best
good for you, buddy?
Yeah, great for you. And Dennis Hopper's great. Is it?
Yeah.
The
Jan Triplehorn.
Triplehorn.
Mm-hmm. I thought she was great.
She's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
she was great. The little girl, I thought did a fun. You're supposed to say something. Yeah, she reminded me of my daughter the way she did that. Actually, of course, I never cut her hair off. But
I think Waterworld is one of those movies that has a reputation for being terrible. That's a little unfair. Like, it's not the worst movie ever. It's not a great movie, but it is definitely better than its reputation suggests.
Yeah.
Well, it was so expensive that it became a huge. It was more the fact that it
got Heaven's Gated. Yeah.
At one point, it was the biggest commercial disappointment in history, just because.
Well, that's because they had to rebuild the sets twice.
Yeah.
It was long too. It was so long.
It's like 2.5 hours.
Back then, that was before Titanic, I think. Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a fun movie, though. Does have have some points to it that are kind of cool, but
it had its moments. Just if it had anyone else but Costner, and I'm not saying Costner's
Yeah, I
necessarily
love Costner,
bad.
but you're right. This was like in his post Dances with Wolves, like he did Waterworld and The Postman, and in none of those is he actually acting. He's just kind of there.
Yeah. He's reciting his lines as Kevin Costner playing Kevin Costner.
Exactly.
Like he was great in Silverado.
Oh yeah,
You know?
I love him in Silverado.
Yeah, he was great in Silverado. Yeah,
I honestly think he does better sometimes when he's a supporting actor. It's almost like he's trying harder. Although, were we the group that was discussing Revenge not too long ago? The sort of gangster / love triangle.
We did talk about it. Yeah.
Because he was outstanding in that. I thought he really was. It's a great movie.
No, he's definitely done some good work, and he's still a good actor. He still does do good movies occasionally. It's just like in the 90s, he was not on top of his game, we'll say.
Phoning it in better. Is there trouble at home, Kevin? You know.
I also wanted to go back to Stepfather 3, which I've never seen. I've never seen Stepfather 3, but I do recommend the original Stepfather with Terry O'Quinn because that is a classic. That's all I'll say.
There's some things I can't mention on this family show, this PG-rated show about Stepfather 3 that's hilarious, but I'll leave it at that.
I'll have to look into it because
in the interest of good taste, I'll leave
bad horror sequels. I'm all there.
A boy and his dog, if not necessarily good taste.
Anyway, Damien, it's your turn.
All right, I am gonna go with Nothing But Trouble.
I haven't seen that in forever.
It's got an all-star cast. You know, Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Demi Moore. It's got Tupac Shakur in it. It's got, you know, it's got what's his name? Humpty Dumpty. Digital Underground is in it, which Tupac was kind of sort of part of for a very short period of time, I guess. But you know, just great horrible movie. It's one of my favorites of all time, in all honesty, which is why I have it on DVD. But it's just, you know, I mean, you got Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, more specifically Dan Aykroyd, and actually a little bit of John Candy, I think, playing multiple characters in the movie. You know, and just the judge. Oh my God, Dan Aykroyd playing the judge. That was just so funny. It's just, he pulls his nose off at one point. The whole scene at the dining room table where they got like the train going around with like sausages on it, you know, and stuff and condiments and whatnot. Oh, just John Candy did play multiple parts in that movie too, because he played the daughter. Did Chevy Chase play multiple parts? I can't remember. He may have. I'd have to look it up.
I've only seen it maybe twice, and that was when it first came out. I haven't seen it since.
It's just horrible movie, just, you know, but it is kind of funny, and they did like explore an interesting concept of, you know, this like backwoods, you know, judge and family and whatnot that like live in this junkyard that on top of a friggin' coal mine fire where nobody else lives apparently. So
according to Indy, Chevy did not play more than one role.
Okay, all right. So it was,
and Indy's always right. So
yeah, it was Dan Aykroyd and John Candy playing most of the extra parts in there. Then
Well, they're more versatile. Let's face facts. Totally unrelated, but I want to know if any of you guys. I missed it when it was out, but I saw a blurb from that recent movie Saturday Night about the first opening night of Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live 75. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The guy they got to play Chevy Chase, it's almost chilling. It's like it's the mannerisms, the voice, everything. It's like, wow. And the funniest part is I recently found this out. I guess Chevy Chase hated it. When Chevy Chase saw the screening, he was, well, of course, that's our Chevy Chase.
Yep.
But have any of you guys seen this movie?
No,
I want to. I really want to.
Not here in Atlanta, but it didn't do well at the box office. I think it'll find a home in streaming. You know, did you see it on streaming or did you see it in the theaters, Thrash?
There was a blurbs of it on my suggestion box.
So he hasn't seen it either.
Scenes. and they were very good. For a while, I thought that maybe was it Lenny Morris? I thought he was actually Garrett Morris's son or even grandson because I thought it was a fluke that they just apparently not. But he does an amazing job as Garrett Morris too. By the way, it looked visually it looked great. I don't know if it just didn't gel. Sometimes when you have that many impersonations in one movie, it sort of overshadows like the plot. So
you get this weird uncanny valley thing too.
Yeah.
How about the Belushi though? You could be a good Belushi.
Thank you. In college once, I had a young lady convinced that I was Joe Belushi, the youngest brother, and she believed me. I was a terrible liar in my youth.
My favorite scene in Animal House is when he smashes the guitar. Sorry.
Sorry. I get. I used to be able to do the eyebrow. Until I can do the eyebrow.
There you go. Same with Mr. Spock. Did the eyebrow thing. Curious.
Oh, I can't do it as good as he can. He was outstanding.
It was like 3 inches up, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. So, but yeah. I'm sorry. I had one.
Saturday Night Live 75. You're talking about Saturday Night Live 75.
Well, no, I had another point to the D-Man's movie, and I completely forgot what it was. So if I think of it later on, I'll blurt it out. But
Okay.
Excellent choice, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
There was. Oh, it's going to drive me nuts now, but thank you.
Well, sorry if I distracted you. And
no, I distract myself. As I've said before, my tangent had a tangent.
I hate it when that happens.
Speaking of Army Hammer.
Yeah, I speak in stream of consciousness, so it's like, So,
the guitar player in Animal House, that was Bruce McGill. What are you talking about? Oh, no, the guitar player. No, Bruce McGill was
I
D-Day.
gave my love. Only on this channel could you have an argument over who played the guitar on the
I'm
stairs
totally wrong. Bruce
House.
McGill was D-Day. I got
but the fact that we could discuss it, the fact that could actually come up and be a discussion, where else are you going to find that?
And Bruce was in Black Sheep. I love the Chris Farley movies he did with David Spade, like Tommy Boy and Black Sheep. And I'm like, it didn't even look the same to me. He didn't look like the same guy. Like, because maybe the facial hair was different or something, or he aged. But I'm like, oh my God, that's McGill from Animal House. Anyway.
Yeah, he's also in the first and last episode of Quantum Leap. In the last episode, he basically plays God. Yeah. Okay, I guess it means it's my turn. Okay, I guess we have to talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up Plan 9 from Outer Space.
In the room. In the room.
Ed Wood.
What is... You got to respect his determination to make movies, even though he had less than zero skill in doing so. I'm kind of in awe of his perseverance and his ability to get it done, even though what he got done is the worst movie ever made. I mean, Plan 9 is so notorious for being so bad, and is so well earned because it is a terrible movie from a filmmaking perspective, and even from a plot perspective, it makes no sense. The dialogue is terrible, the acting is awful. You've got poor Bela Lugosi, I mean,
who died
before the movie even was made.
That was Martin Landau, wasn't it?
Yes, Martin Landau got an Academy Award for that.
Yeah, he did. For the remake. I mean, not remake.
It's not a remake.
Behind the scenes. Yeah, behind the scenes.
Which I do actually recommend as a legit great movie. Ed Wood is
that's actually a good movie.
Tim Burton. Yeah. One of Tim Burton's best, yeah.
One of Tim Burton's best, one of Johnny Depp's best performances too, as Ed Wood. But anyway, you've got this. I mean, if you haven't seen Plan 9, I'm not going to tell you the plot because it's stupid.
Vampira.
It's got so many quotable lines. I'm constantly quoting the line, "You're stupid! You're stupid minds!
Stupid minds! Stupid!
You've got all the day for night shots that are just constant. You've got this dentist who's pretending to be Bela Lugosi with his hand. It's so bad. So yeah, it is. You absolutely have. If you have to see Plan 9 from Outer Space, you just have to. If you consider yourself any kind of movie buff, you have to have seen it. If you haven't, go see it immediately after this stream.
Yeah. Hey, Tug.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think the chat's confused. A lot of people are throwing out actual bad movies. We're talking about movies that are bad that we love.
Yeah,
yeah.
Gary's
I'm
mentioned
just-
Land of the Lost. That movie's just straight up terrible.
Yeah, and Manos Hands of Fate. Nobody should be forced to watch Manos Hands of Fate. That is one of the most boring movies ever made.
You know, at least Plan 9 had charm. Man, Hands of Fate.
Yeah.
No.
The thing about Plan 9 is, yeah, it's terribly made, but it is so earnest, and it is still things are happening all the time. Like it doesn't slow down.
it's got 66% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it can't be
The
that
future
bad.
is where we'll be spending the rest of our lives. In the future.
Pull the strings, pull the strings.
And as you know, I made out what I thought was a very compelling case that it was one of the contributing forces to one of my favorite horror movies of all time, Night of the Living Dead.
Ah.
Yeah, and it's actually not a bad case that you make for it.
Thank you. Thank
What happened
you.
to my camera? Okay.
Ooh, you're coming at a really cool angle now.
Yeah, I know. My camera,
Oh, there you go.
it just goofed up. It said your camera's disabled and it put up my. Oh, well. Continue. It's
But
fixed.
yeah, I first saw Plan 9 at a party, and it was a drinking game, and there were like 10 different rules. Like every time you see a day for night shot, every time you blah 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 blah. If you get a list like that, I recommend only using like 2 or 3 things from the list. Don't use the whole list because you'll be dead by 30 minutes.
We used
Anyway.
to play a game called World at War where you watch a World War II documentary, and every time they name a nation that fought in World War II, you have to drink. And it's funny because it gets better. Oftentimes they talk about these ensemble forces. The armies gather from all over Europe, and you're like, oh, dear God. From Denmark, Belgium, Holland, England, North Africa. From all over Europe. Oh, no. But it's funny. I actually read about Plan 9 years before I saw it because it was in the days before even home theater. They didn't have any videotape when I was a kid.
Right.
And I read about it in a book. It was like the Golden Turkey book. And it was like Rocky Horror. I became obsessed with seeing it before I finally did. And when I did, it was like an event. It was like, oh, because they finally showed it on like a late night movie channel or something. And I'm like, oh, I'm finally included in this cabal of people who watch Plan 9.
Now,
was a very
ironically, I'm the
sad
exact
story.
opposite. I knew nothing about it when I first saw it, not a thing. But I instantly knew it was something special. Like this is not your typical bad movie. There's something here. And then I went and found a bunch of other Ed Wood movies. Like I watched Glen or Glenda. I watched the Orgy of the Dead, which is don't watch Orgy of the Dead. Just don't.
Hey, Tug, that Vampira,
Yeah.
how come Elvira could steal that whole concept and get away with it all these years? Cassandra
Yeah, I
Peter.
was about to say that looks like Elvira.
Yeah, I'm not
almost, yeah.
entirely sure. I'd have to look into that. If I ever do a video on Plan 9, I will.
And I
Because she was hot.
Yeah, there you go.
Because she was hot.
She had
She
the
can get
bust,
away with it
right?
because of that. Yeah.
She had a bigger bust. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tor Johnson as the
Yeah. The rest.
Who was a Swedish
Tiger.
wrestler before he became an actor, if I remember correctly.
he's
You're
like
right.
banging
Tiger.
into the walls, and they're like, no, keep it in. He's a big guy. It's realistic. Even though
And
the
the bit with the octopus screwing up.
They stole the octopus from a seafood restaurant, but couldn't find the motor. So they just go like this with the arms. It'll look like you're being attacked.
Yeah.
You know,
whole-
crazy.
Anyway, now it's your turn, Thrash.
I'm gonna go with one. If any of you have actually seen this one, I will be astonished. But it was a fun one. It's I want to say from 1984, 82, early 80s, and it's a sort of comedy gangster movie, road movie, buddy flick farce called "They Call Me Bruce," starring a stand-up comedian from the time whose name was Johnny Yuen, and I'm very sorry if I mispronounced his name. But the whole premise is this guy is of Asian ancestry, but doesn't know martial arts, but gets himself out of every scrape by convincing people that just because he's Asian, he knows martial arts. And the running joke is they call me Bruce because he plays it off that he is like, he was Bruce Lee's sparring partner, much like Chuck Norris did. Ooh. And he gets involved with gangsters, and they have to go across country. And I've always loved road movies. You know, it's like that hero's journey where different things happen along the way. So it's all about the journey, not the actual story. And like so many of the movies at this time, it's a love letter to pop culture from this time period. But someone mentioned the pirate movie earlier, where they interject all these things. It's almost like you had to watch a lot of TV in the early 80s to get half the jokes. It's all about puns from Pepsi commercials and stuff like that. Like, oh, that's a reference to the old Rolling Stone iconography, and oh, that was stolen from Wonder Woman, and oh, this and oh, that. But it's such a fun movie, and he was actually great. I don't know why he never achieved stardom, probably because he had a limited bandwidth, but it's just such a fun movie, and I have so much fun when I watch it in the theaters. I even watch it from time to time when I can find it elsewhere.
Nice. Is hey, Danny Staten correct? Is Elvira's not a witch, is she? Or have I been in the dark all these years? I don't know if that's correct. Danny Staten's comment about Vampira?
I think like a joke.
Yeah.
Humor, a difficult concept, as Lieutenant Savick said. In Star Trek.
Humor. Ha!
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it. I gotta get with Tristan, see if he's seen it, because he knows everything in terms of Bruce-sploitation. And that feels like a Bruce-sploitation. Like it feels like it's like recursive. Yeah. But it sounds fun.
It is. It's a very fun movie. It bombed at the box office, and most people consider it terrible. But again, Johnny Yoon is great in it, and some of the situations are pretty funny. There's a great scene where they're pulled. It's the typical. They're pulled over by these two small jerkwater cops, and they're being just basically hassled, and everything you could say wrong to two small town Southern cops, Johnny keeps saying. The situation just keeps getting progressively worse, and the guy, the driver, who's actually a low-level gangster for the mob, he starts singing in Italian, and they actually put a translation at the bottom, and he's singing, "I'm wetting my pants," and for years, anytime I was in a tough scrape, I'd be like, "I'm wetting my pants," because I didn't know the words in Italian. But it was just so like it struck me so funny when I was a kid. And one of the things there's this great scene where they totally rip off Kung Fu, where it's like, if you can snatch the pebble from my hand, you will be ready. And the little boy goes, "Grandfather, there's a big bird flying over you." And he goes, "You won't get me that easy." And the bird takes a dump on him. And of course, the little boy gets to steal the pebble. And again, I was like 14 at the time, so I thought that was the funniest thing I ever saw. So it's just for the little funny bits throughout it, it's worth watching.
I just want to say hi to Mike Harper. Welcome.
Hey, Mike.
Hey,
It
Mike.
was nice to see you.
Yeah.
Mikey.
Indy shedding light onto the Elvira. There you go.
No, this is Danny just talking about how Elvira's a witch because of that movie.
And she had an affair with Elvis Presley.
And then, Indy
Never
says
won,
Elvira
except
won
for
the
Ellie
case because
Donna
her shtick
Douglas.
was just dissimilar enough. Yeah.
Cool. Donna Douglas was the only one that wouldn't give it up for Elvis. Ellie Mae in the Beverly Hillbillies. She was a good girl.
I thought she did, and he broke her heart.
But she didn't do the deed.
But he still broke her heart. No, she can't be both.
Okay, so Chance, it's your turn to list some more.
Okay, I've got a real good one in my opinion, a good coming of age movie from 1982. It is a R-rated teen sex comedy called Zapped, starring Scott Baio, Willie Ames, Heather Thomas. There's a parody of Star Trek in it, and there's a ship that's a combination of the Enterprise from the motion picture and the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. They took kits. They took the Kenner toy, the Millennium Falcon in the
Just
parody,
throwing them together.
and they stuck it together with the nacelles of the Enterprise, the movie version of the Enterprise. But that movie just has a lot of funny bits. Plus Heather Thomas. I had a thing for Heather Thomas, so much so I have all of the Fall Guys on reel-to-reel film, all 5 seasons on 16 millimeter film, just because Heather Thomas is in it. So, and I had the pleasure of interviewing her on my show, The Nostalgic Pod Blast. That was a treat. When I
Oh,
interviewed her. But
Cool.
the movie, so I'll just say that's all I have to say about Zapped. It actually has a pretty good soundtrack too. Some of the songs, some original songs were not bad. It's a good soundtrack album. Dr. Detroit with Dan Aykroyd. That's another bad movie, guilty pleasure. Have you ever seen Dr. Detroit, Tug and panel?
I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Great
Thrash, I knew you've seen it.
Oh no, yeah, it's a great movie. Just for the cast, I mean, I believe that was the movie where Dan Aykroyd met Donna Dixon, who became his wife for 40 years.
Right. They recently divorced, right? Like a year ago or so. Yeah. Yep.
Fran Drescher, I believe that was her first role. But a very
No,
young
you're
Fran
thinking of
Drescher.
Hollywood Nights. Hollywood Nights before. She's not even in it. Fran Drescher's not in Zap.
Fran Drescher's not the call girl who plans. No, really?
No, but you know who else is in it? Who is in it? And Tuggle, you guys appreciate this, is Merritt Buttrick, who went on to play Kirk's son in The Wrath of Khan and The Search for Spock.
Ah,
Spoiler alert, a Klingon murders him, but he played like a little punk student who was like held over like a reject student who was like rerun on where'd Tug go?
he froze.
It was his
Oh.
turn.
Anyway, in Dr. Detroit, there's a funny line, family show, where the villain, who's played by a female, says, "I'm going to cut off your head and blank down your throat." And I'm not going to say, I just thought that line was hilarious. I laughed out loud as a teenager watching that movie on cable. Shakes the Clown. Go ahead, Thrash. Sorry.
Oh, I just that duel that Dr. Detroit fights the Lady Madam is actually it's like something out of like one of those old Errol Flynn movies. It's actually amazingly well choreographed. I just want to point that out. It's a great scene.
Now I got confused with you. So Fran Drescher is in Dr. Detroit. I thought you were talking about Zapped. You meant Dr. Detroit.
I meant Dr. Detroit.
Yes. Sorry,
Dr.
Indy. You're right. Yeah,
Detroit.
I got confused. I thought you were talking about Zapped.
Oh
But
yeah,
it's
no,
not her
she's
first,
not.
but Hollywood Nights predates Dr. Detroit, so I was right, yet I'm wrong. I was wrong. I got confused. So yeah, sorry, man.
There you go.
I
Well,
thought you were talking about
no worries. We got there eventually. Oh, and by the way, about Zapped, I have to point out, how could any movie that is a rip-up of Carrie not be
Yeah.
good? You
Yeah,
know?
true. Great point. In the dramatic scene at the dance. And then 1941, Steven Spielberg's Dud, but I like it. And it was a bad movie, but it wasn't. I mean, I thought it was just fine. What did you guys think of 1941, or did you see it?
I love
I think I've
1941, and I can't figure out why it bombed. It was funny. It was well put together.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
I thought everyone was at their best in it, and I think it was poorly marketed. I think people didn't know, is this a comedy? Is this a war movie? I think it had something to do with the marketing, because I thought it was great. Belushi as the Maverick pilot, I thought was outstanding. You have Christopher Lee as a Nazi agent. You have it's a great movie, and again, I remember watching it going, why did this movie not do well?
And another one for you. Tom Cruise's first movie, Endless Love. He had a small speaking role. Movie is terrible, but I actually like it. The reason it's terrible is it sends a bad message. The stalker wins. He burns down the family's house, trying to be the hero. He sets fire to a stack of newspapers, and he winds up inadvertently causing the death of Brooke Shields' character's father when he sees him after they moved clear across the country at a traffic stop. But Endless Love, it's got a good soundtrack. But so there's that one. And then Grizzly. Have you guys ever seen Grizzly?
No.
It's worth a look. It's a good
Okay.
B horror movie. It was, of course, a ripoff on Jaws. It was
Yeah.
shot here in my state of Georgia, in Clayton, Georgia. And it used to run all the time on CBS late night, the censored version. But man, I saw it in a drive-in movie theater back in 2007 here in Atlanta. And I just fell in love with the movie. It was like the first time I'd seen it uncensored. It's really worth a look, I think. So, and then the last one I'll say on this round, Distinguished Gentleman. I think it's a very clever comedy starring Eddie Murphy. Great take on the politics and the doings in Washington, D.C. And it's where Eddie Murphy's character is a con man who takes the name for name recognition of a senator who died while having sex with an aide.
Yeah.
And the senator was played by James Garner, who has a heart attack while he's in the middle of the act. And so he had a name that had great name recognition, and Eddie Murphy's character ran on it and got elected to Congress.
I loved in that movie how all the other Congress people are coming up to him saying, I love what you did down there in Florida, running on the other congressman's name. It's like they're all giving him props for it. It's like,
Ooh, and Hollywood Nights is classic. A lot of people in the chat are talking about Hollywood Nights with Fran Drescher. That is a very underrated movie, funny comedy. I can't talk about her big scene.
The
back
biggest
of-
problem I have, I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
I am done. I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
The only problem I had with Hollywood Nights, if I remember correctly, or should I say my biggest problem, is I'm a huge music buff, and a lot of the songs they used weren't actually recorded at the time of the movie. They fit great, but no, these people wouldn't have been listening to this song or this song, and I spent the entire movie going, nope, 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 nope.
Right.
So I wasn't able to actually watch the movie. I was too busy pointing out continuity errors to myself. I'm a very petty person.
it's like watching the movie A Knight's Tale, and it's like all the songs are playing from the 70s and stuff. It's just like, are you kidding me?
I hated that movie. And I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to do like the Three Stooges and other classic people. You're trying to set a comedy.
Yeah.
So when you're making a period piece comedy, there's a lot of anachronisms. I get it. It was just so poorly done. I couldn't stand it. It's awful. I mean, Three Stooges meets Snow White is a better comedy period piece, and I don't say that lightly. I mean, let's not say things we can't take back, But yes, The Knight's Tale.
Okay.
All right, my turn, or
Yep, your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna go with one that was brought up in the chat earlier because it's a wonderfully horrible movie, and from my understanding, is the very first Marvel movie, Howard the Duck. Which,
Tracy mentioned that. Yes.
yeah. But yeah, that's just it's fun though. I like it because it's like, you gotta love Howard. I mean, he's a great there you go. I was gonna go grab the DVD, but I decided not to. But his character is just great. He's a little horn dog for a friggin' duck.
And Lucas is
true to the comic.
movie after
Yeah.
Star Wars trilogy. Really, Lucas's first thing.
And I didn't know that Liz Segal is in that too. I guess she's is she the waitress at the restaurant or somewhere?
She
else
must
in
be.
the-
It's been
Yeah.
a while
I think
since
she's one of the girls in the band.
Oh, okay.
that would make
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
I think she's one of the girls in the
But
band.
yeah,
I like her
believe.
sisters better from Double Trouble, the twins. But that's
She's
another
one of them.
story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's one of them.
I think Jeffrey Jones did a great job in Howard the Duck. Playing the alien inside the man's as he's deteriorating as the movie goes on.
The way he
and-
looks at the climax. Is just,
Yeah.
He stole the movie. He really.
Oh, yeah,
I think
he
he
did.
stole the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun movie at least. It's not very
And,
good.
young Tim Robbins. As
Yep,
the
Very
flunky.
good, yes.
Yeah, wasn't he a scientist or something?
Yeah, he's a
Or-
scientist
yeah,
with the
that's right,
glasses. Yeah.
Yeah. Tim Robbins. Yeah, I forgot he was in that.
And of course, Leah Thompson. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. She did a great job. Yeah, she's she really liked Howard.
She sure was.
What a
She's
career.
into the duck.
All
Yeah.
the right moves and Back to the Future. I mean, great
Yeah.
actress. Great
Mhm.
career.
She likes
Red
ducks. She
Dawn.
likes her son.
Red
Creepy.
Dawn. There you go.
Mhm.
And yeah, you're right. I was thinking of Katie Siegel, Married with Children. Liz who definitely was one of the twins in Double Trouble.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
I love that show. You never
And
seen
there-
it?
Their
Go ahead.
father was a director.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Who did probably best known? He did for at least for people on this channel. He did Omega Man.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Good movie, Charlton Heston. I love that. Last Man on Earth.
It's one of my favorite adaptions of Last Man on Earth.
I Am Legend.
Legend. I Am Legend. I know. Last Man on Earth was the Vincent Price movie,
Vincent
which
Price.
is another.
Freaks,
Yep.
you're all freaks.
That's the concept. But was the remake any good, guys? Did you see it with Will Smith? I never saw it.
Worst movie
Yeah, I
ever
have
made.
no
Oh
opinion
yeah,
on it.
I have that one
I do.
actually. I know. I know.
I mean, I'm
Thrash's opinion on that
Militant.
movie, but I kind of like it. So-
It's a free country, D-man. It's
Yeah, I
it's a free
know,
country.
I know.
But remember my little spiel earlier
Mm.
about varying wildly from the source material?
Mhm, yeah.
This one just misses the point entirely.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
It's it's not. It is really not that story when you really. It's not. It's.
I mean,
this
the
is a
Omega Man
different
isn't
story.
really
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
But it's good.
It is good. I like the Omega Man. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I just like
Yeah,
I like
it's-
some of the concepts that were that they kind of went over in I Am Legend and just showing his daily life and what he has to go through every day with the generators and going and getting gas and hunting for food and picking vegetables and it just kind of like makes it more realistic, the things he would actually have to do as a person surviving as the only human left in New York kind of thing. And the whole like going from apartment to apartment on different buildings he's crossed off on his map, hunting for these creatures, and so on and so forth, trying to root them out where he can find them.
No, I do think
you know.
the Will Smith in the post-apocalypse is the best part of the movie, and I think
Yeah.
I've said this before, and I'll say it
Mm-hmm.
again. I actually think Will Smith does a really good job in this movie.
He
His
does.
acting
Yeah.
is actually really good.
Yeah.
It's everything else about the movie that kind of falls flat. Like
Yeah.
the CG is beyond terrible.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah.
it
It was
wasn't even that
early
great in
still
the
though.
day.
You got to remember what year that was.
And the ending is bad, and even the
Yeah.
alternate ending is also bad. I don't want to
Yeah.
hear it. It's not closer to the book. It's still bad.
both endings were pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
And
But-
the monsters are so completely two-dimensional.
They are.
Mhm.
They're not nearly
Yeah.
as interesting as they are in the Omega Man or the book.
Exactly. And that's the
Mhm.
point of I Am Legend, is that there's like a whole thing
Mhm.
going on. And in Will Smith's I Am Legend, they're I think they're actually worse than the zombies from Night of the Living Dead, to be honest with you. I think
Yeah.
they have even less
Oh no! When it comes to the zombies in that movie, yeah, I mean they do start to imply that there's more to them than just like mindless animals that are only come out at night kind of thing. They imply that they have, that this the leader of these vampires or whatever you want to call them, actually does love this girl that he took. So that implies that they have more to them. They can plan ahead by making a trap for him and so on and so
Yeah,
forth,
but-
but they never really go into the whole.
They went like 5% of the way there. They have to
Yeah,
go 100% of the way there
yeah,
to earn the
I,
title.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I think they started the movie really well, but then the second half of the movie
It does kind of fall apart.
it's
yeah.
like you could have actually taken the concept to where it was supposed to go instead of doing what you did.
And the
you
fact
know,
that the
so,
human that shows up is
Mhm.
actually a human who showed up.
yeah.
Did you even read the book?
I was gonna say. But
Anyway.
also, speaking of the girl, the reason the zombies are after him in the Will Smith version, we find out they're not even trying to kill him. He took one of them and is doing
Mhm.
medical experiments on him, and they just want their friend back,
Yeah.
which I thought humanized them. If you would just left that in, we
Yeah.
might have had something here. But it's like, and I'm like, why did you delete that? It's the only interesting part of
Yeah.
the whole movie.
Yeah, that was one of the deleted scenes, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
that's where I'm
deleted
kind of
scene.
getting. I'm getting things mixed up a little bit because the actual cut of the movie didn't have that in it. But that
Yeah, they're just
that
chasing him
part
in
of
the- in
that
the
missing
uncovers.
or that cut scene should have been in the movie.
Yeah,
should
it
have
does
been in the
help,
movie.
but again, it doesn't take it nearly far enough.
no,
'Cause, I mean,
no,
like
no.
the whole
Yeah.
point of the story is that he
Yeah.
realizes that to them he's a mass murderer.
Yeah.
He is the legend.
How did we go from Howard the Duck to I Am Legend?
I
Oh,
have no
'cause,
idea.
Because Boris Segal was a director.
Oh, gotcha.
talking about the
I
Seagal
see
twin.
I see the connection now. Okay.
And Thrash has this like black hole ability to like make anything that's even close to I Am Legend like turn into a discussion of I Am Legend.
Well, I also do. You can do 6 Degrees of Thrash, where I can take
Yeah, yeah.
name any movie at all,
Mhm.
and I will bring it to any other movie in
Mhm.
6 steps. I
Six
promise
steps, yeah.
you. Come up with 2 completely different movies, and I guarantee you, in 6 steps, I'll have a connection between the 2.
Yeah.
We should
Gotcha.
do that next time. That should be a fun little.
They're not zombies. They're yeah, correct. Yeah, whatever.
I forget what they're called. He calls them like night walkers or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's been a while. But anyway, let's move on. I guess it means it's my turn again. I got a list. Let's see. Which one do I want to talk about? I'm going to talk about Resident Evil. The Mila Jovovich, the first one. Paul W.S. Anderson. Or not, Paul W. Anderson. It's bad. It's very poorly made. It's like in your face MTV editing. It's got Mila Jovovich doing a spinning jump kick in slow motion on a zombie dog, and you've got Michelle Rodriguez playing the same character she always plays. You've got the ridiculous laser hallway. You've got really generic zombies, and they run in this version, even though they don't run in Resident Evil. It has very little to do with Resident Evil, the game, which is, I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. The story of Resident Evil is not exactly Shakespeare. Everything about this movie is bad. And like, I can watch this movie and I can tell you all the reasons it's awful, but I've seen it maybe 20 times. I freaking love it. There's just something about it that I can't get enough of it.
I mean, it you know, it's a fun movie, you know.
Yeah,
and it's got Mila
it's
Jovovich
like
in it.
everybody getting infected, and there's the whole like elevator scene where somebody gets
Mhm.
decapitated by a moving elevator. I mean,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, and I
Yeah.
absolutely adore it for that.
And again, it's got Mila Jovovich in it.
Yeah, and every other adaptation that they've
Yeah.
tried of Resident Evil is actually worse. So
Yeah, that's true.
I'm a fan of zombie movies, and I don't like it.
well, it's got running zombies. I know you don't like it.
Yeah. But again, Mila Jovovich, you know,
She's not a good actress. Like, she's never been a good actress.
never said she was.
But we
she can
still
talk?
love her.
I know I'm a dirty old man.
I like her in Dazed and Confused, where she's like stoned and
Oh.
she's trying to light a cigarette and she just can't do it, you know?
Yeah.
She's
And
I just love her in that movie, period. So
yeah.
And apparently she's like in Mensa. Apparently she has like
Oh yeah, if you
like-
actually like watch interviews with her, she is so freaking smart.
she's like,
It's like Sly Stallone. We think of him as an idiot just because of like the roles he does, and
Mhm.
Rocky's always talking because he's got like brain damage. But like
Mm.
Sly Stallone himself, again,
Smart
a Mensa
guy.
level intelligence. He's
Yeah.
really, really smart.
just doesn't act like it.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, and I gotta ask. Okay, this is controversial, so I'm gonna throw it to you guys and tell me how wrong I am. I think his best movie, Sylvester Stallone, Nighthawks.
It's over the top, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
wait
over the
a
top.
second. I thought you meant Nighthawks over the top. You mean the movie over the top? Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
That was a joke.
Sure. But I know I'm playing along.
I've
as
never
best I
seen
can.
Nighthawk, so I can't answer that question.
Yeah.
Never seen Nighthawks? That's your homework. Great
My
movie.
favorite Sly
Stop
Stallone
the tape.
Wait,
Stop the
is
tape.
it-
You've got to see Nighthawks. It's awesome.
Okay, I'm writing it down. I'm writing it down.
You know who else is in it? The bald chick from Star Trek: The Motion Picture playing a
Persis
terrorist.
Persis
Kumbata.
Kumbata.
Yeah.
I love her so much.
Easy
Rutger
for you to
Hauer?
I've seen Nighthawks, but it was so long ago. I have no idea.
Rutger Hauer is in
Billy-
it too. Oh,
Rutger
man.
Hauer plays the terrorist. Billy D. Williams is his
Okay, you
partner.
got me. You sold me.
You struck oil. You struck oil.
And Sly has a beard in it.
He does.
I've seen
Yeah.
the cover. Yeah, that looks familiar.
And you know, there was a controversy on the DVD. They couldn't
Mhm.
release the Rolling Stone song. They finally did on Blu-ray in the nightclub. Thrash, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. They didn't get the rights to it.
Yeah, they couldn't get the rights to it, but they
Rights to
finally did. But Nighthawks, you've got to see it, Tug.
Yeah, for some, Mick Jagger used to be really, probably still is militant about his songs going on soundtracks. That's why the only song that isn't on
I like
either one of the Big Chill soundtracks is Painted Black. He wouldn't let them put Painted Black on either one. And Painted Black is my favorite Rolling Stones song.
Yep. And
Features
Lindsay Wagner
prominently
plays
in
his wife,
Stir
his
of
ex-wife.
Echoes by Richard Matheson.
Good call.
The Bionic
Yeah,
Woman herself
Yep.
was Sly's ex-wife in the movie, and she has a great scene at the end, and we won't spoil it.
We will not. But
I will
And-
watch it. I promise.
oh, and here one more. I'm just gonna throw this out there. I know we've struck oil, but you will personally love this one. Kathy Mary Stewart.
Oh,
As a walk-on.
yes, I do love her.
That's right. In the department store, we won't say what happens.
Well,
But
yeah, but she's
correct.
on the perfume counter.
I
Yeah.
never knew it was her until this year or last year, 2024. I never made that connection. She's beautiful. Yeah.
And
I
she's
met
one
her.
of the
I
most
met her.
gracious celebrities. Like I've never met her, but I've talked to her online. She's so
I
great.
interviewed her. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's awesome. Met her in person too.
That's awesome. That's great.
Lucky dog.
It was she was at the Sandy Springs Cinema and Tap House promoting a double feature of Last Starfighter and Night of the Comet.
Okay.
Like they were having a screening on the big screen, and she had a Q&A after each screening. I went to the one for Last Starfighter. I didn't go to Night of the Comet, even though I like that movie too. Anyway,
Guess which one I would have gone to?
Night of the Comet.
My favorite Christmas movie.
There you go.
I actually Googled good bad movies like for just to get ideas, and Night of the Comet was on there, and I'm like, blasphemy.
And Heather Thomas has a cameo as a poster in the projectionists booth.
That's
Her
right.
classic pink bikini,
Pink bikini.
and that
That's right.
outsold Farrah Fawcett. People don't
Yeah.
know that. It sold about 20 million copies. I talked with Heather Thomas about it. The Farrah Fawcett poster was hot too. You know, the one in the
Oh,
one
yeah.
piece,
Mhm.
but it did not. She sold about 6 million copies, but Heather
I-
Thomas was everywhere in the 80s.
I still have my copy of that poster. I bought it when I was like 14. I still have it.
That's cool,
Believe it or
dude.
not. Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, and I have to tell this Heather anecdote now, by the way, just because her name keeps coming up. supposedly Tommy Lee had a crush on her and had one of his groundlings, gophers. He goes, that really hot chick, Heather, get her phone number. I want to call her and ask, you know where this is going. I want to call her and ask her out. And he calls Heather up and he's chatting with her and they're like hitting it off. They're having great chemistry. And he's like, oh, wait, I see you on TV now. And she's like, wait, the Colbys aren't on. TJ Hooker's aren't on. She's like, what do you mean you see me? And he's like, oh, I see you right there. And she goes, what am I wearing? And he goes, you know, the bikini. And she goes, I'm Heather Locklear.
Yeah.
And Tommy's
Yeah.
like,
Wrong,
what?
Heather.
I heard her tell that story. Yeah, Heather Locklear told that story. She goes, she said that Tommy Lee says, I love you on the Fall Guy. No, that's not me. Yeah, that's Heather Thomas. The two
But she
hot
still
Heathers.
went out with him.
Yeah.
And hilarity ensued.
But Heather Thomas had the better body versus Heather Locklear. But they're both gorgeous. In
Oh,
my
they were both
opinion.
hot, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh no, but if you're doing as far as physique goes, no, you have to give it to Heather Thomas. But they were both beautiful women.
Absolutely. 100%.
I love that anecdote. It's just so, and she still went out with him. Anecdotes.
Okay, Thrash. I think that means it's your turn.
Me? Okay. I'm gonna go with Citizen Kane. I
Try again.
I am kidding you.
Panel says no.
Okay. No, I'm gonna go with another one, and this is another one of the movies that I heard about years before I actually saw it. I'm gonna go with Roger Corman, of course. I'm gonna go with Little Shop of Horrors.
The original. Yeah.
The original from 1961, 62, I want to say. Terrible movie. But
You can watch it free on YouTube, like a lot of early Corman.
That was one of the. It went into public domain actually for some reason. I believe they didn't. It was before copyright was implied or inferred or whatever the imp.
Roger
is.
Corman never wanted to pay for it in the early days, so like a lot of his early movies are not copyrighted.
But this movie has such a charm to it, and all the people in it, you'd think they were doing Shakespeare. They really like give it their all. Of course, Jack Nicholson has a walk-on. I believe it was his first screen role. Originally, it was going to be done as Jack Nicholson. They're very good, Vim. Wow, great minds think alike. Originally, it was going to be done as a police procedural spoof, spoofing like Dragnet. but they changed their mind. But that's how the two cops actually got incorporated in it. They were a holdover from the earlier script. The guy who wrote the screenplay is actually the guy who tries to hold the shop up. 3, 2. Oh no! 1, 2, 3. Oh, this isn't working. Okay, we'll turn the other way around. 3, 2. For considering he wasn't an actor, I thought he did a great job. And there's like a lot of little segments that are just like so much fun, like where Jonathan Hayes is talking to his mother, and we find out she's a hypochondriac, and he gets her the miracle cure, and she's reading it. If hit by a truck, call your physician. And it's funny. Whenever you watch ads for Ozempic or one of the other miracle drugs that Big Pharma's trying to shove down our throat, literally, they always have that at the end. If mysterious rashes show up, consult your physician. Yeah, I would have done that anyway, Einstein. But I always think of that scene from Little Shop, and it's a great movie, even though it's a horrible movie.
And speaking of Dick Miller, Andy, he really was eating flowers during the entire movie. Like in real life, he was doing that too.
I think he got sick at one point because
he
of
did.
that too. Actually,
he was eating some flower that, like later, they found out is actually very poisonous.
The method
That would do it.
The poinsettia or something like that. Yeah.
Sorry, my phone was going off because school is canceled tomorrow.
Oh, because of snow. Good.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like I fully expected that. But no, Little Shop of Horrors is great. I recently went on a big Roger Corman kick and watched most of his early movies, everything I could find on YouTube, because I read his autobiography, which came out a couple of years ago, right before. Like I was reading it when he died. Like it was just like weird synchronicity thing. So, and Little Shop of Horrors just stays with you. It's really short. It's a lot shorter than you think it is. It's only like 70 minutes, something.
70 minutes, yeah.
But like any Roger Corman movie, that's because he made it in about a week. He probably only filmed it for like 2 days.
2 days.
Because that's Roger Corman, man. He's always move. And he did it on like, pennies on the dollar.
On the cheap. Yeah.
He was the king of that. But Little Shop of Horrors is great. And I like the remake. I like it a lot.
It has its charm.
Yeah. But the original it's a different beast. It's not a musical for one thing. And I don't know, it's got like a different tone. Like it's still a comedy. It's slightly different just in tone and style. It's 60s versus 80s, I don't know. I love it. I think it's great. And yeah, Dick Miller.
I think The Little Shop of Horrors from the 80s is one of the best musicals ever made, personally.
To be a dentist.
Yes, exactly. One of my favorites. Probably seen
I love it.
100 times.
Wrong, but it's
Didn't
different.
Billy Preston write the music for it, or some Motown icon? And the music is great.
It's really good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
really, really good.
Indy's right. A week. What took so long? Well, this is Roger Corman. He was probably filming like 3 different movies at the same time.
Yeah. And using the
same
sets.
sets. Yeah.
Using the
Same sets, same actors. Whole 9 yards.
Well, that's how The Terror got. Speaking of Jack Nicholson, that's how The Terror got made.
Yeah.
He was filming in this place in Mexico, and they wrapped up 2 days early. He goes, "Okay, let's make another movie, guys."
While we've got everybody here,
We've got time. We don't have to dismantle the sets for 12 hours. Do you think we can do a movie? Yeah, let's do it.
Do a movie. Who am I, Hodorowski? Second name drop. Crazy.
I know. Hodorowski coming up twice.
You
Yeah.
shall protect us, O Lord.
Now I'm reading the Kubrick biography, but luckily Kubrick's not around anymore, so I don't have to worry about him dying on me.
He was a nutcase. Great,
Yeah.
great filmmaker, but he was
Oh, yeah, it's completely insane.
Shelley
Yeah.
Duvall hated him. Shelley Duvall.
For obvious reasons, rightfully
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I didn't like Eyes Wide Shut. I didn't even like
why would you?
Blasphemy 2001: A Space Odyssey. I don't like that one.
Okay,
I
you're
don't-
off the panel. See you later.
All right.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people
Boring.
don't like that movie.
bye-bye now.
A
Bye-bye.
lot of people feel that way.
Thanks
I,
for coming. Bye-bye.
I completely disagree with you, but you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
But I
Says the man with the
definitely.
2001 poster right there.
I didn't even notice that. My bad.
And let's face facts. AI is based on Are You Sitting Down? Brian Wilson Aldous short story, and I still hated it. Well, hate is the wrong word. I didn't think it worked. But it's like talking about.
I think it's clunky, but I do like it.
Well, it was all over the place.
That melding of the Kubrick style and Spielberg style, it doesn't work. They're two very different filmmakers. I know they were friends. I know they worked on it together, but like Spielbergian movie and a Kubrickian movie are two completely different beasts.
And other than the talking teddy bear, there's virtually no connection to the Brian Ellis short story.
That's true.
So it's and in the Brian Ellis story, it's not this cute little like, oh, I'll be your buddy. In the Brian Ellis short story, it's this sort of like something out of a horror movie where it keeps like looking around like doors and stuff like that. the woman is creeped out by the teddy bear. Yeah.
Okay, well, Sarah's right. We've been doing this for over an hour and a half now, so I guess we got to cut it. But since
Thanks, Sarah. I had a lot more to say.
You chance I find that hard to believe.
I strongly suspected that this would be a multi-part episode. So, yep, there she is. Awesome. What was I saying? Anyway, I do have a video dropping in about 25 minutes, and that will be on Godzilla Raids Again, the sequel to Godzilla. Yes, we all have our Godzillas. I got him over there, except for Damien. He has no Godzilla.
No, not in here.
We have no Godzilla. We have no Godzilla today.
No bananas either.
We have camera.
I've got Colin right there, so you know. And yeah, I'll be on Sarah's stream on Thursday. But until then, Sarah's got a show tonight with Thrash. You want to go ahead and talk about that?
Yes, we're going to be discussing the movie Dreamcatcher, amongst some other Stephen King's, because like so many other Stephen King adaptations, you could tell it's the King universe. There's a lot of similarities between this and some of his other movies, and we're going to be deep diving that this eve.
Excellent.
That's 7. It'll be myself, Mr. Staten, and Sister Sarah, and we'll have just a grand old time.
Cool.
And what about you, Chance?
Cool.
Do you have anything to promote?
Yeah, the Space Giants return to my channel with episodes 29 and 30 this Thursday, January 9th. And it's a wild plot where Rodak, he poisons the water supply and he brainwashes the citizens of the Earth. This is an alien trying to take over the Earth. And there's a funny bit where this guy puts the Xana, which is the water that Rodak's contaminated, in her drink, and she drinks it. And then her boyfriend's like, who's been infected, do you hear the voice of Rodak? And she goes, shh, he's still speaking. I don't know. You got to see it. It's funny, but my channel's The Nostalgic Pod Blast, and a lot of people are digging the Space Giants, and I'm grateful. And rest in peace to Linda Lavin. I was a big fan of Alice, the sitcom. I did a whole live stream about her and other big losses in 2024 in the entertainment world. And I hope we can do this topic again. I have a whole bunch more.
Yeah, I got more that I definitely want to talk about. So,
man. Oh, man.
I will have a different panel next week, but I might actually be using a different topic next week. So we'll see how that goes. I haven't decided yet, but that'll be probably Danny and Sarah, and I'll probably have Thrash back and maybe Tracy. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Thrash is like a regular fixture. It doesn't feel right to do a stream without him.
I agree. Honor me. You honor me. Thank you.
And speaking of which, BBB, Chrissy, has made me a permanent member of her panel on Saturday nights. So you can catch me there. And Chance is usually there too.
Yep. I'm her co-host.
Yeah. So
push the buttons.
Like I said, I'll be on Sarah's on Thursday. So I'll be on BBB on Saturday. And then I'll be back here next Sunday. So that's it.
Cool. It's been fun. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been great.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.
Yep.
You too.
Never be ashamed of what you love, as long as you're not hurting anybody.
Thank you and good night.